What is up, Raider Nation? It's your boy Samuel Raider back at it again with yet another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about some new faces or maybe one big move that the Raiders can make right before the season does start. I'm also going to be talking about some former players, Raider fans, even Manti Te'o, giving the Raiders some love and some praise and believing that Pete Carroll is going to turn things around in year one. And last but not least, Brock Bowers gets ranked #1 amongst all tight ends in the NFL. So if this is the very first time you guys are coming across this channel and you love Raiders content just like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. With that being said, let's talk about the first thing, that being TJ Watt possibly coming to the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I know some of you guys might not like hearing that because it seems like we always attach our names to players that could possibly be on the move, and none of that actually ever happening. I know we talked about Jair Alexander, we talked about Jalen Ramsey, but we never ever got those guys. But one guy that got brought up was TJ Watt. According to Silver and Black Pride, they brought this situation up, saying recently ESPN reported teams are showing interest in trying to acquire Pittsburgh Steelers superstar pass rusher TJ Watt as he goes through a contract conflict with the team. Now, the Steelers reportedly have no intention of trading Watt, but things can escalate if contract talks, which reportedly are not going well at all, continue to not progress as it gets closer to the season. It perhaps could get to a point of no return. We all remember what happened to Khalil Mack 7 years ago. I don't know why you guys have to bring that up, but if the Watt situation goes down the drain with the Steelers, the entire league will likely call the 412, expressing their interest. So yes, interest would be high in Watt. And if it gets to that point, would you like to see the Raiders make a big run at him? Could you imagine Watt and Crosby coming after the quarterback? Could I imagine? My goodness, I feel like our defensive line will be the best, if not one of the best in the NFL. Just imagining TJ Watt, Max Crosby on opposing sides getting after the quarterback. Oh my. And if we're able to get Christian Wilkins back before the season starts, I mean, I don't know how possible that is, but just imagining that, having Malcolm Kuhn still, rotate in and out, and then still having guys on the interior just helping his defensive line out. Oh my goodness, I feel like, especially with Pete Carroll's leadership, I don't know what Raider fan wouldn't want TJ Watt to come over here to Las Vegas. If it were up to me, if you were asking me, would I like to see TJ Watt in the silver and black? I'd easily say, hell yes. My neck and my back. This would definitely mean that the Raiders will be in win now mode. If they make a big move like this, I don't know what it might cost. It might cost a lot, and I feel like the Raiders might have enough to make it happen. But if they were able to do this with TJ Watt having around 3 to 5 prime years left of his career, I can only imagine how good this Raiders team would be, especially with the offensive pieces that we did bring in over the offseason and the defensive acquisitions that we did have, and also having Max Crosby on the team still, with Patrick Graham, with Rob Leonard, with Pete Carroll just running this whole system defensively. Oh my goodness. Just hand us the Lombardi trophy already. Okay, in all seriousness though, do I feel like this is realistic? No, I don't think it's realistic at all. But a fan can dream, right? And I mean, this was brought up by Silver and Black Pride, and we don't know what the whole situation is. And I know that things are not going well with the Steelers and TJ Watt, but there is a possibility where he could be available. And like they said in here, the same thing happened to Khalil Mack years ago when we didn't even think that he was going to be on the market. We thought he was going to be with the team, even though he was kind of frustrated with the whole contract talks and whatnot. We ended up trading him away a week before the season actually started. So, I mean, if there is a possibility where he comes available, I would love the Raiders to at least look into it or at least show some interest in it. I'm pretty sure that we would, but I don't realistically see it happening, but it's something fun to see. Now, one thing I do realistically see the Raiders actually doing is possibly bringing in Asante Samuel Jr. Now, I've talked about this before, and I know a lot of other people have talked about this. I'm kind of surprised that he's still out in the open market right now, and the Raiders could use some help in the secondary. I said it before with Jair Alexander, same thing with Jalen Ramsey. It wouldn't hurt adding some veteran depth to the roster, especially with what we have right now. But according to CBS Sports, they brought up the Raiders as a possible candidate for Asante Samuel Jr., especially after his dad voicing his frustrations and calling out the Miami Dolphins, which leads to believe that he most likely will not go into the Dolphins. But there still are other teams that could be interested in him one being the Las Vegas Raiders, them saying that the Raiders have overhauled their organization this offseason by bringing in Pete Carroll as head coach and then trading Geno Smith to serve as Las Vegas' starting quarterback. While they added intriguing pieces like running back Asante Samuel and wideout Jack Bech at the NFL draft, the secondary has the potential to be the Achilles heel for the organization. Third-round rookie Darian Porter could factor into a starting spot on the boundary, but there's not much promise beyond that. The Raiders did sign Eric Stokes in March, but given that it's simply a one-year, $4 million deal, he shouldn't be looked at as a locked-in bona fide starter. Similar to Minnesota, adding Samuel Jr. would give the Raiders another dice roll as they look for stability in the secondary. And they'll need it playing in an AFC West division that consists of Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Bo Nix. Now, I know we talked about this before, and I'm one guy that would definitely be open to bringing in Asante Samuel. It wouldn't hurt at all, and it would be a low-risk, high-reward type of move, and I feel like that's been the whole model for the Raiders throughout the whole offseason, bringing in veterans on a short-term, cheap deal, which could also pay off for the Raiders in the long run. I know he's dealt with a lot of injuries throughout his career, but he still would be a solid addition to the secondary. So with that said, I would not be surprised at all if the Raiders were able to bring him in within the next couple of weeks leading up into preseason. But what are your thoughts, Raider Nation, on possibly getting TJ Watt or even bringing in a guy like Asante Samuel Jr.? Is there another player out there that you guys wouldn't mind bringing in? I know Justin Simmons is still out there. I wouldn't mind him as well, but there's a lot of solid free agents that the Raiders could still bring in and help this team out or add more depth to the team. Now, moving on to some other bit of news. Of course, Summer League is just about to get started over here in Las Vegas, and shout out to my boy Mike Dixon. He got a little interview with Baron Davis out there at UNLV and asked him about how he felt about this Raiders team going into the new season. And knowing Baron Davis as a Raider fan himself, and he does follow me on Instagram too, he seems just as excited as a lot of us Raider fans are going into the season.
We got Geno Smith here. We got Pete Carroll. What's your thoughts on that?
Just a new regime. A fresh start, professional look. You got a seasoned veteran quarterback who want to win. You got a coach that has winning and championship pedigree. And when you start looking at the moves that they've been making in the offseason, especially re-signing Max, bringing in Geno, drafting Aston Gentry, those are the moves we need to make to say, hey, we're going to start making moves going forward. And that's what I like to see, man. So being a Raider fan, I'm happy for the organization.
But he wasn't the only one to talk about the Raiders going into the season, because Manti Te'o, my cousin, also talked about Pete Carroll and believes that Pete Carroll will bring the Raiders back.
Oh, heck yeah, I think he's going to bring them back to excellence. And you see him wrestling his guys in the stretch lines. You see the energy. You see the enthusiasm. That is something that you need. It's so refreshing to somebody like him. Like, man, I got a head coach that exuberates that type of energy that I'm trying to instill into this team for so many years. Now I got it in the head, guy. This LA Raiders team under Pete Carroll is going to Las Vegas.
Go, Kyle.
Las Vegas Raiders team is going to look good.
So with that said, it's always good to hear some great things about the Raiders, but the main thing is always, are they going to keep that same energy once the season does start? This is why I don't really like to get a lot of praise, because I feel like the Raiders, when they got so much expectations, they don't really live up to it. But something about this season, something about this new coaching staff, something about the moves that we made, bringing in Aston Gentry and then just bringing in all the right pieces offensively and defensively, also gives me that good feeling that we're going to have a much better season than we did last year. I mean, the only way we can go is up, but being a Raider fan for as long as I've been, you just never know. Now, the last thing I do want to highlight is our tight end, our sophomore tight end, Brock Bowers. Now, according to ESPN, they recently published their annual top 10 tight ends in the NFL list. Now, this was surveyed from executives, coaches, and scouts across the entire league, and how ironic, but they got Brock Bowers at the top of that list as number 1, saying Bowers makes history in our top 10 poll. He's the first player to rank number 1 at his position after his rookie year. From Joe Burrow to Justin Jefferson and Sauce Gardner, many came close but couldn't quite pull off that feat. Bowers, however, narrowly outdistanced Kittle in the polls after earning more than 50% of first place votes. He was the highest graded overall player in the 2024 draft in the eyes of some NFL NFL scouts, but the position he plays, coupled with a strong quarterback draft, dropped him to the number 13th pick. Sure, the Raiders needed a quarterback in the worst way, but there's no way they regret the selection of Bowers, who met expectations, then smashed them. Among his year one record, most receiving yards by a rookie tight end or wide receiver in NFL history with 1,194 yards. Also, most receptions by a rookie at any position with 112, and most receptions by any player in a single season in Raiders history. Great person, hard worker, instinctive, great hands, matchup problem due to his speed and athleticism with elite run after the catch ability, an NFC executive said. Now, that's definitely a lot of high praise coming from a lot of NFL execs, and how can you blame them? I mean, Brock Bowers had his best season yet in his first season, which is going to be kind of hard to repeat, but you know, that was with Gardner Minshew and AOC and a rocky offense. Now you got Geno Smith over here with the help of Ashton Jensen in the backfield, with Pete Carroll calling the shots around here, Chip Kelly over here. I mean, I can only see him go up from here. I just love the fact overall that we're getting some kind of love out here. It's great to see young guys like Brock Bowers really get the respect that he does deserve around the NFL. And like I said earlier, this is only his second season that he's going into with a lot of expectations on the team overall, with expectations on him and his shoulder. Yeah, I mean, he put a lot of expectations on his shoulder with the season that he had last year, and I feel like he'll build on that. And if he's able to do that and the offense starts rolling like we know they can, look out for this Raiders team to really surprise a lot of people out there. But with all that being said, though, if you guys are in Las Vegas, if you guys are going to be at Battle for Vegas tomorrow, let the Oos know. If you see me, come say what's up, come take a picture. I'm going to be out there shooting a lot of content with my boy, Mr. Fitz, so it's going to be a good time, and I'm going to drop the vlog probably on Monday next week, depending on how fast I'm able to get it out. But with that being said, if you guys do enjoy Raiders content just like this, man, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button just to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. Season is just around the corner. I'm going to be going to training camp. I might be covering training camp as well. There's also going to be a lot of other events that I'm going to be attending. So definitely tap in and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Until the next video, this is your boy, Samuel Raider, and your boys, yeah.